Karen knocked over my sister's cart, got sued and paid $80,000. The grocery store parking lot was a war zone of honking horns and screeching tires. But nothing prepared me for the hurricane that was Karen. She stormed out of her gleaming SUV, her designer sunglasses perched like a crown, screaming about a parking spot she swore was hers. My little sister, Lynn, barely 15, froze beside me, her hands trembling on our cart as Karen's voice sliced through the evening air. I'd been picking Lynn up from her after-school art club, a rare moment of peace in our chaotic week. Mom was working late again, so I'd promised Lynn we'd grab ingredients for her favorite pho. The cart was loaded noodles, beef bones, fresh herbs, and a few treats she'd begged for. Lynn's smile, shy but bright, was worth every extra dollar. We were halfway to my beat-up Corolla when Karen's SUV roared into the lot, nearly clipping our cart. I yanked Lynn back, my heart pounding. "Watch it," I shouted, more out of instinct than anger. Karen didn't just hear me, she took it as a declaration of war. She slammed her door, her heels clicking like gunfire on the asphalt. "You don't get to talk to me like that," she barked, her finger jabbing the air. "That spot was mine, and you're blocking my way." Her voice was a mix of entitlement and venom, loud enough to turn heads. Lynn shrank behind the cart, her eyes wide. I stepped forward, trying to keep calm. "Lady, we're just trying to get to our car. Chill out." "Chill out," Karen's laugh was sharp, like broken glass. "You're the ones causing a scene. Move your stupid cart." Before I could respond, she lunged forward and shoved our cart with both hands. It tipped, crashing to the ground with a sickening clatter. Eggs splattered, jars of fish sauce shattered, and Lynn's backpack, stuffed with her sketchbooks, tumbled into the mess. Lynn gasped, her hands flying to her mouth. I saw red. "Are you serious?" I yelled, kneeling to check on Lynn. Her eyes were wet, but she shook her head, too stunned to speak. The crowd was growing now, phones out, murmurs rippling. Karen didn't care. She stood over us, hands on hips, smirking like she'd won something. "Maybe next time you'll respect your elders," she sneered. I stood, my fists clenched. "You just destroyed our stuff. You're gonna regret that." Her smirk faltered for a split second, but she doubled down. "Regret? You're the ones who'll be sorry for wasting my time." She turned to storm off, but a new voice cut through the chaos, a deep, gravelly one. "Ma'am, you're not going anywhere." It was Mr. Tran, the grocery store manager, a wiry man in his 50s who'd always been kind to Lynn. He'd been watching from the store entrance, his apron still tied on. "I saw everything," he said, his voice steady but firm. "You assaulted these girls and damaged their property. I'm calling the police." Karen's face twisted, her confidence cracking. "Assault? That's ridiculous. They provoked me." The crowd murmured louder, some nodding at Mr. Tran, others whispering about Karen's AUD transporting. "Provoked," I snapped, stepping closer. "You knocked over my sister's cart. Her sketchbooks are ruined." Lynn clutched my arm, her voice barely a whisper. "My drawings. They're all I have." My heart broke at her words. Those sketchbooks were her escape, her dreams in pencil and ink, now soaked in sauce and dirt. Karen scoffed, tossing her hair. "It's just a kid's doodles. Buy her a new notebook." That was it, the final straw. I pulled out my phone, my hands shaking with fury, and started recording. "Say that again," I challenged. "Tell everyone how you think it's okay to destroy a kid's work." Karen's eyes darted to the growing crowd, her bravado slipping. She opened her mouth, but Mr. Tran stepped in again. "Save it for the cops," he said, already on his phone. The police arrived within minutes, 2 officers with notepads and stern faces. Karen tried to spin her story, claiming Lynn and I had instigated the whole thing. But the crowd wasn't having it. A teenage boy, maybe 16, pushed through, holding up his phone. "I got it all on video," he said, his voice cracking with excitement. She totally flipped their cart for no reason. The officers took his phone to review the footage, and Karen's face went pale. I hadn't noticed the boy filming, and neither had she. His video was a game changer, showing Karen's unprovoked shove in crystal clear detail. Lynn was still shaking, her hands clutching her ruined backpack. I hugged her tight, whispering, "We'll fix this. I promise." But inside, I was boiling. Karen's casual cruelty wasn't just about a cart, it was about her thinking she could trample over anyone, especially a kid like Lynn. The officers took statements from me, Lynn, Mr. Tran, and several bystanders. Karen kept insisting she'd done nothing wrong, but the video told a different story. She was cuffed and led to the squad car, her protests echoing across the lot. The next few weeks were a blur of police reports and insurance claims. Lynn was heartbroken over her sketchbooks, months of work gone, her confidence shaken. I contacted a lawyer, a friend of my mom's named Miss Nguyen, who took one look at the video and said, "We've got a case." She explained that Karen's actions weren't just vandalism, but emotional distress, especially since Lynn was a minor. The ruined groceries were one thing. The sketchbooks were irreplaceable. Ms. Nguyen filed a civil suit for property damage, emotional harm, and punitive damages, aiming high. Karen, we learned, was HOA Nguyen no relation to our lawyer, a real estate agent with a reputation for bullying tenants and clients alike? She had money, a fancy house, and a lawyer who tried to paint her as the victim. But the video was undeniable, and the boy who filmed it, Jaden, became our unexpected hero. At the deposition, he showed up in a hoodie, nervous but proud, and described how he'd started recording because she looked like she was going to do something crazy. His footage went viral on X, with thousands of comments calling Karen out. The public pressure was relentless. In court, Karen's defense was a mess. She claimed she was stressed and felt threatened, but the judge wasn't buying it. Lynn took the stand, her voice soft but clear, describing how her sketchbooks held her dreams of becoming an artist. "They weren't just doodles," she said, her eyes shining with tears. "They were me." The courtroom was silent, and even I had to choke back tears. Karen wouldn't meet Lynn's gaze. The judge ruled in our favor. Karen was ordered to pay $80,000, $10,000 for the groceries and backpack, $20,000 for Lynn's emotional distress, and $50,000 in punitive damages to send a message. Ms. Nguyen called it a slam dunk thanks to Jaden's video and Lynn's testimony. Karen's real estate business took a hit as clients dropped her, and her social media was flooded with memes about parking lot Karen. She tried to appeal, but the evidence was too strong. She paid up, her savings drained, her reputation in tatters. Lynn struggled after the incident, her confidence shaken. I bought her new sketchbooks and enrolled her in an art class to rebuild her spark. One evening, she showed me a new drawing, a fierce girl standing over a toppled cart, with a crowd cheering her on. "That's you," she said, smiling for the first time in weeks. I hugged her, my heart full. Justice wasn't just the money, it was knowing Karen faced real consequences. Her arrogance cost her more than she ever imagined, and Lynn's resilience shone through. What do you think? Did Karen get what she deserved, or should the punishment have been different? Share your thoughts.